Shank Valley, Afghanistan. In the early morning hours of April 6, 2008, an assault team of Green Berets and their Afghan counterparts landed at the base of the fortress-like Shank Valley village. The mission? A daring raid on the stronghold of one of the fiercest insurgent forces in Afghanistan, sitting atop 10,000 feet of jagged rock. They were expecting a 15 to 20-man security detail. What they got was a fierce and deadly ambush by hundreds of Taliban fighters from nearly every direction.
The terrain, the enemy massing, and the atmospheres, the environments of the day created a situation where every man in that detachment were literally in a fight for their life, but fighting for absolute inches of terrain.
The barrage was heavy, sustained, and deadly accurate. The intense firefight continued for over 6.5 hours.
Our element was trapped on the side of the mountain. We had several casualties. They were bleeding to death. We were extremely outnumbered from an elevated position and under heavy machine gun and sniper fire from nearly every direction.
The Green Berets fought to suppress the enemy while moving and treating the wounded, among them Master Sergeant Scott Ford and Staff Sergeant John Walding.
One of the most important traits of a non-commissioned officer or a Green Beret is the absolute refusal to quit. He will fight to the death, and he will never leave a buddy behind. And these two NCOs climbed up to our position to help their buddies, putting themselves at extreme risk, putting others' lives before their own.
With casualties mounting, they called in danger close airstrikes to prevent being overrun. Air support rolled in for bombing and fire missions an astounding 70 times within 7 hours, allowing them to medevac the wounded off the mountain.
Roger, I confirm 9 casualties, over.
For the several hours that those men were on the ground, they truly displayed what giving every full measure of yourself can be, how dynamic of a difference an individual can make.
One good example of dedication to his detachment and personal courage is of Scott Ford. He was probably 10 meters away from me, and we were pinned down. We were working on some casualties, and he was shot in the chest. And it dropped him to the ground. And he looked down, looked at his body armor, jumped back to his feet, and returned fire continuously until he was hit again, and a wound that almost took off his arm. And John Walding, very similar situation. He was fighting, shooting ahead of us, and he was hit in the leg with a shot that amputated his leg. And this guy hit the ground, and it's just, it's amazing that he would even survive such a wound, much less continue to fight and carry his own leg down the cliff as we climbed down a 100-foot cliff to get the casualties out of there.
Under intense and accurate fire, these men refused to accept defeat, turning the tide of the battle by sheer will, individual initiative, and heroic determination.
It is absolutely amazing when you think about the sheer magnitude of 10 Silver Stars, third the highest award for valor that the U.S. Army gives, in all in a matter of 6 hours.
You know, Sergeant Walding, his ability to overcome what would be, in many instances, a debilitating amputation, and now to a point where he is running rehabilitation. And his question to me yesterday was, when can I get back to my team? And is adamant about displaying to me that he is ready to join his A team and get back to work.
Those kind of guys, they don't like to talk about it, and they're not going to brag about it, and they didn't wake up that morning and say, I'm going to be heroic today. They just did what it took on the ground, and that's, you know, the true nature of our warriors kind of comes out.
They didn't go into the mission looking to make history, but the actions of these men will long be remembered as examples of valor and dedication to their fellow soldiers.
You can take my leg, but you can't take my heart. I'm a Green Beret.
No sacrifice too big for my brothers.
I'm Staff Sergeant John Walding.
I'm Master Sergeant Scott Ford.
They may be ordinary people, but the simple fact is that they do extraordinary things. And that's why we can say that they are faces of strength.